This is Pocket Watching with JT, the call-in financial talk show focused on helping you get your money right. Jason Thornton is a certified financial planner, licensed in both tax and investments. Now, this is not personal financial advice. This is JT's real reaction to all your money and business questions. Are you deep in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and looking for a way out? Call Pocket Watching with JT, the financial advisor for the people. Need more? Book your personal consultation with my man JT at pocketwatcher.net. Now, let's go Pocket Watching.
Hey, Pocket Watchers. Welcome to Pocket Watching with JT. Big shout out to the over 60,000 of you who have subscribed to a YouTube channel made by a financial advisor who rants about things that are related to money. I have no idea why you have subscribed to this. There are plenty SoundCloud rappers and, struggling comedians who do not have 60,000 subscribers. I absolutely appreciate it. Now, do me a favor as you make your way into the live stream. Hit that like button. Make sure you share this content. It's been a while since the Pocket Watcher has done a Change My Mind episode. So I know some of you are probably already ready. Y'all can start calling me up right now. 515-602-9778. That's 515-602-9778. Y'all can start calling me now, but give me an opportunity to explain myself first before you try to bite my head off, right? Just give me a moment to explain what I mean. Now, this has changed my mind, so I'm going to give you the rules, and I'm going to explain what I'm talking about. So what are the rules within Change My Mind? Listen, I am open to hear your side of the argument. I am 100%. But take a deep breath before you call. Do not, the second I pick up the phone line and I let you on, don't just start, yeah. Let's have a rational conversation first, right? It's going to be some give and some take. And if you say something that I consider to be straight false, and I can prove it, right, with a simple fact, then you're going to have to address what you said. You can't just skip over that you said something wrong. You're going to have to address what you said wrong before we can move forward. It's not going to be a thing where I'm going to let you just talk for 5 minutes straight where you're just spilling nonsense. All right, but those are the rules. Those are the rules. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to bring my brother up, Orlando Minor. He'll be up in a second. But give me an opportunity to explain myself. What do I mean? Kids who get free lunch should not have Jordans. Change my mind. All right, now let me give you a little bit more detail in my argument. Now, when I say kids who get free lunch, that's just another way of me saying A child who is in a home that is below the poverty line. That's what I mean. If you are a family that's below the poverty line and you are getting welfare, you're getting Section 8 housing, your kid get free lunch. This is no shot against anyone in this situation. I'm explaining my argument. If you're in that particular situation, it is my point of view that your children should not be given luxury items. They should not be wearing Jordans. This also goes to the mother and father. The mother and father should not be wearing, Gucci and Louis either. But I'm focusing on the kids tonight, and there's a reason why. The reason why I'm focusing on the children is because you are, in my point of view, the people who do this. You're probably good meaning, right? Your intentions are well. The argument that I hear from a lot of people who are below the poverty line, but they make sacrifices to provide luxury items for their children. You mean well, but ultimately what you're doing, you are forming and shaping the child's relationship with money and material goods. And you're doing it, in my point of view, you're doing it in a destructive way. See, if a kid is, in a home that is low income, but the one highlight of their life is the fact that they are given some kind of luxury item, from the outside looking in, that may seem like a good thing, but it's not, right? So story time. Let me explain even where the title of this episode came from. Story time. Here we go. So in middle school, one day, I can't remember the guy's name, not off the top of my head. But in middle school one day, a particular guy started, ragging on me about my shoes. All right. Now, I want to be clear. My shoes weren't like Jordans and very expensive shoes, but they were probably like name brand shoes. It wasn't like shoes that I got like from the Dollar Tree or something like that. These were name brand shoes, but they weren't like the hottest of the hottest, newest of the new $100 plus tennis shoes. And I mean, he was going in. This is like one of those guys who are the loudest person in the lunchroom type of guys. And he started going in on my tennis shoes, and I had to sit there and take it, because all of the focus was on him. So I had to sit there and listen to this guy go on and on about my shoes and his shoes and this, that, and the other, until I was given an opportunity to speak. Now, this guy was older than me. His crew was bigger than my crew. So it wasn't like we were on equal level, right? It's a different JT now than the JT back then. The JT now would not allow someone to speak that long without interrupting. The JT then didn't have much of an option. So I'm sitting there, and he, is giving it to me. And I'm just waiting on my opportunity to come back. Because I knew I was going to get an opportunity. At some point, this guy is going to, try to say, what you got to say now? I knew that was coming. So I just sat back and kind of, waited my turn. And then eventually, when this guy was kind of done talking about my shoes and how better his shoes were, I just asked the question, didn't you just get your lunch from the free lunch line? That's all it took. That's all it took. That was my argument. That was my comeback. The man was spending 15 to 20 minutes trying to embarrass me because, in his point of view, my shoes were not as fancy as his shoes. 15 to 20 minutes straight. I said one sentence to destroy his whole argument. You just got your lunch from the free lunch line. What are we arguing about? Why are you acting as if you have more than me? You live in Section 8 housing. You're getting your lunch from the free lunch line. You're well below the poverty line in every statistic. The only thing you can brag on is that you're wearing maybe $150+ tennis shoes, and mine are maybe $60, $40. I can't remember at the time. But you are functionally in poverty. That was it. That's all it took. It was over. So I want you to understand that regardless of how you think you're helping out someone, especially a child who's in poverty, by giving them luxury designer clothing, you are actually handicapping this person. Because now you are tying, in their minds, you are tying having a luxury or designer outfit with their self-worth, regardless of all the other realities of their life. See, it doesn't matter if you're on welfare and you're getting food stamps, you got a Gucci bag. So now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're unemployed. You have Jordans. So you can go out and feel as if you're good. I've got on Jordans, but you're unemployed. So you're handicapping children by tying their self-worth with an outfit that in reality is way beyond the budget of the family that they're in. They should be more concerned with having clean clothes rather than expensive clothes. Because here's the other side of that. Yeah, he had one pair of Jordans. How many times a week do you think he wore those Jordans? I can pop on a different pair of shoes almost every day. He had those one pair of Jordans that he would absolutely wear out. There's a difference. There's levels. And if you believe that it's okay to build up a child's self-esteem by the clothes that they have on, you are setting up that child for failure. That child, right, that teenager in middle school who ties their identity to a pair of Jordans becomes a 25 or 35-year-old man who ties his identity to his car, right? That girl who ties her identity to a pair of shoes or a bag or a coat grows up to be an older woman who ties her identity to a bag or a coat or some boots. And they won't go through the necessary process of grinding to build wealth to actually qualify yourself for luxury items. So yeah, luxury items are something that you should actually qualify yourself for. It's not something that you buy to make yourself feel good, right? So whatever percentage your clothing budget is, let's just say your clothing budget should be somewhere around 3 to 5% of your income, right? Let's just say that 3 to 5% of your income. That goes throughout the scale. So if a Gucci bag or an expensive pair of shoes is 3 to 5% of your income, go ahead, you qualify. But if it's 30% of your income, you don't qualify. It's a dumb thing for you to do. And if we perpetuate a culture that says, buy the material thing that makes you feel rich, even if the purchasing of that thing digs you deeper into poverty, you will never solve a racial wealth gap in America because the culture perpetuates that gap. Before I bring my brother up, I want to read a stat real quick. They did a study back in 2009 that tracked how children who grow up in poverty stay in poverty as adults. They did this in 2009. This was the National Center for Children in Poverty at Columbia University. What they found was the longer a child is in poverty, the more likely they will be in poverty as an adult. So they looked and they saw that for those who spend 8 to 14 years in poverty as children, they are 46% likely to be in poverty as adults. 8 to 14 years of being in poverty as a child means that almost 50% of people in that situation will be in poverty as an adult. Kids who get free lunch shouldn't have Jordans because it distorts their relationship with money and their self-worth. If a pair of Jordans is the only thing that makes that kid feel like they are worthy of something, you're setting them up for failure. If that's the only thing, right? A pair of Jordans on their feet is the only thing that gets their heads up. You have no real value system. Because regardless of how much money you have, you can be proud of your grades as a child in poverty, right? You can work hard, make sure you get good grades. You can feel good about that. There's athletics. There's other areas of school and clubs and stuff like that that you can become extremely proud of yourself in. And then as you work your way out of poverty, you can then get those expensive items. But here's the thing. Here's the funniest thing. When you actually earn the wealth that qualifies you to buy these luxury items, this is the craziest part. You don't even want those items because you feel like as if it's a waste of your money. That's the craziest part. When you actually work hard, build up your income to the point where you could easily buy a bag that's $4,000, right? You could easily buy it. In that person's mind, they're like, why would I waste $4,000 on a bag? I can buy a bag for a couple $100. And the difference I can invest so I can make more money. That's how real wealthy people think. But once again, they don't have a unbalanced relationship with money in their personal identity. So there you have it. There it goes. Please change my mind. I would like to hear the counter argument as to why children in poverty should get and receive luxury apparel? I would love to hear the argument on that. But I want to bring up my brother, Mr. Orlando Minor, to the stage. What's going on, O?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
We had a good show, though. We had a good show.
Uh-huh.
Me and Aziz, we had some fun last week.
I saw that.
Of course, we missed Orlando, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. I watched a little bit of it when I got a chance when I got back.
All right.
Watched it. It was interesting.
All right. Now that you're back from vacation,
Mm-hmm.
I gave them my opinion. What do you think about the topic?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, you shouldn't be getting, your kids shouldn't be getting free lunch if they're wearing Jordans, because then obviously your priorities are all mixed up. So, you should be trying to figure how to get out of that scenario that allowed you to get that free lunch, quote unquote, and stop spending it on material items, which is really big in our culture. Try to get away from that and do the things that we talk about all the time. I mean, we go over the same stuff over and over: emergency account, this, that, and the other, right? So all of those things go towards that rather than spending, I mean, I don't know how much Jordans are, but $150, $200, something like that. So yeah, it makes no sense.
It's ridiculous, but listen, give me a call, 515-602-9778. That's 515-602-9778. Change my mind, because I would love to hear an argument where it makes sense to give a child who is in poverty, straight up in poverty, give them luxury clothing to make them feel better about themselves. We got some callers here, so we're going to take on the callers. Here we go. We got a caller from 315 and caller from the 479 area code. So here we go. Go ahead, Oak.
I just want to say real quick, I mean, and we do know this may be on a different tangent, but we do know that this stuff really doesn't matter when it comes to this luxury brand stuff. I don't know if you've seen that commercial where Payless opened up that boutique.
I saw it.
And they opened up that boutique.
All the fashion influencers was like, oh yes, these are such great brands, and they're paying like $500 for these shoes, and then at the end they come back like, this is all Payless stuff.
Exactly.
These are supposed to be the fashion influencers, the people who know good brand versus bad brand and luxury quality versus Payless quality. They all got beat. But they do the same thing with wine. I've seen the whole thing where people did a taste test with wine, the expensive wine, and like the box wine. They can't tell the difference, man.
And I know we're different types of people, but how many times have you saw something that was really expensive and you thought to yourself, how much does this fabric make to cost this? Is this really $1,000 worth of fabric? This fabric is the same fabric that you buy at Walmart or Target. And you're telling me you want me to spend $1,000 on this nylon? Come on, man. You out of your mind. I'm going to the phone lines, but we got the lead attorney in the building. The lead attorney did a marathon today. I was in there. I was quiet, but I was watching. The lead attorney did a marathon. I think it was on for more than 6 hours a day. Oh, man.
But the lead says, he said kids should absolutely have Jordans, even if they are on free lunch. If the Jordans help the kids jump higher, then they can get a basketball contract later to the NBA. So it's an investment. You know what? I believe he's joking, but I would guess someone would probably call in and say it's an investment in them. No, it's not.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now,
advertising,
I have been beaten by guys playing basketball in no-name shoes plenty of times. No-name shoes plenty of times. I had the pumps. You remember the pumps?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Didn't help me jump at all. Didn't help me jump at all. I pumped them up every time. Didn't help me jump at all. But they looked cool. But shouts out to the lead attorney. I gotta make sure y'all subscribe to the lead if you're not already. 100%. Most of you probably already are. So here we go. Caller from the 315 area code. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hey, JT. It's Ebenezer.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey.
I'm good. You know, I've been waiting for this at this time. You know, after our chat, I have a thing for sneakers. They're nostalgic.
Hey,
But
I'm not sure if you're using Bluetooth, but you're coming in a little off a little bit.
Yeah, let me take it off my Bluetooth. Give me 1 second.
There you go. There you go. And to all the other callers who are on hold
How's
right
that?
now, as I bring you guys up, make sure if you're on a Bluetooth device or whatever, come off when I bring you up because it's a little hard to hear you. But go ahead, Eb. Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm not calling to change your mind. I'm in 100% agreement with you. I'm somebody that kind of grew up in that type of situation, but my mom made sure I had a new pair of sneakers. It was crazy. I look back on it, it was the craziest thing. But something else to think about is it feels like through this action of, you know, needing free lunch and then buying your kids Jordans, it's almost setting them up to scam and scheme the government, essentially, right? Utilize the resources they're going to give you and go and buy whatever you want with the money that you have, right? And like the justification, I can hear it because I used to hear it in my neighborhood is, well, there's other groups of people that do it. I grew up in New York City, so you can imagine the groups of people that they're talking about, right? There's this large group of people that do this, right? And they're not legally married, but, you know, inside of their religion, they're married. And it's just like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It is, you know, loved my mother to death even through her passing, and wish that she would have taken all of that money every week buying these sneakers and just put it away in an account or invested it somewhere. I'd have been so much happier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And trust me, like I said to you, you know, when we had our session, I still love sneakers, but now I'm in a position where I can buy them. I was on the SNK app the other day with the live stream, and they dropped the cherry red Jordan 11s, and I couldn't get it because the app froze. But I didn't have to worry about my rent.
Right. You're not making the same. And then always say this: if you do the fundamental things that I teach, I don't care what you spend your extra money on. If you have a fully funded emergency savings fund, if you have paid down your debt or working on paying down all your debt outside of your mortgage, and you're able to invest about 15% of your annual income, if you can do all those three things and buy something, go ahead, because you've covered all your bases. The problem that we have in the topic of what we're talking about tonight is there are people who are buying luxury items and they're not doing any one of the three things that I consider are the fundamental building blocks of actually getting wealth in this country. And that's where you end up with a perpetual family curse of constantly starting from ground zero. But we can always brag on the cars that we drive, the bags that we have on, the outfits that we wear to the club, all of this stuff you're bragging about, but you don't even have, you have a negative net worth. A man with a negative net worth cannot argue money with me. You have a negative, you have a negative net worth.
I almost said, how is that possible?
Yeah,
but
JT and Orlando, I don't think people understand actually how to calculate net worth correctly. It doesn't even, it's not even something that's in their reality. Like net worth to them is, you know, who did you, you know, go to Dapper Don and get the latest like handmade like Gucci, which technically, right, like let's up until his partnership and his deal, right, with I think it was Louis Vuitton, technically it was bootleg stuff. Like he was getting, like by definition of the word, right? Like he was getting the official prints and the official leather.
Right, and he was doing his own thing.
Right?
There was some copyright.
That's not real.
Some trademark infringement on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Great, you have the leather, but if it's not made, quote unquote, in their factory, and we all know that all this stuff is made in the same factory anyway, but if it's not made with their hands by somebody they employ, then it's technically bootleg, but people were going crazy for it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's sad. I don't know how to change it. That's the crazy part is because you look like it's a waste of your time when you try and go back and like, hey, listen, I know it doesn't sound incredibly sexy to not have the newest pair of Jordans, and there's so many other pressures because if you don't, then you're not popular. Then
Right.
you're focused on the wrong thing, so you're not getting a significant other in middle school or high school, right? Then you're ostracized, and right, and it's like this vicious circle. But then the kids that are usually ostracized are the kids that like make it out, and then look at them like they're crazy.
Right. And then be like, why don't y'all get back to the hood? It's because the hood never gave me anything in the first place. But now that's a great point. That's a great point. How do you break that? And with me, my whole mindset is you have to put shame on the activity. The second we have a culture where we're afraid to shame activity, you're going to have a culture that refuses to grow. Because if everything's okay, if everything is just do you, you're going to have a group of people who don't care what they do because they will never be shamed for the activity. Like with my circle of friends, we have like me, Orlando, my circle of friends, we will make fun and we will shame BS activity. Like a person who has a negative net worth who is bragging about their car, I don't care what your car is. You can pull up in a Lambo or a Rainbow, whatever it is. We will probably make fun of you. Like you're coming to us trying to show, like, look at the car, and we're looking like, but you can't make your mortgage payments. He said, yeah, but it don't matter. We are going to clown you to the point where you want to take the car back. But that's what you have to do. You have to shame with love, but you have to shame clownish behavior, or you are going to reward clownish behavior and you're going to see more of it.
Yeah. I'll leave you with a quick story. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and this person tried to equate scamming and getting caught with like white collar scamming, quote unquote, right? Like Ponzi schemes and all of that.
Right.
Because I was like, listen, like, why would you ever want to, in a white collar society, ever want to commit one of these like major like money laundering or like bank fraud crimes? And they're like, well, listen, you steal $100 million and you go to jail for like a year, but you pay a fine of $10 million. What happens to the other 90? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you don't get to keep it. They're like, well, if you hide it well. And then they were like, and then I was like, so then why would you even scam at the lower level at that point? And they're like, well, it's the same thing. You go through this PPP loan fraud, for example, you steal $1 million and they only come after you for a fine. And then you come out and you're good with it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
Right? They're not just coming after you for a fine. There's people who are doing jail time. There's people doing jail time for people.
You're like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
And then you can't ever work or ever be around money again.
Yeah, man.
That's fantastic. I hope the $100,000 is worth it.
Right, for the 12 to 18 months that you had some money, I hope you feel good for the rest of your life, which is ridiculous. All right, my brother. Thank you so much for calling.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. You have a great night.
Later.
All right.
JT, I wanted to say when he was talking about the net worth, and I was commenting that when you said it, I was just like thinking to myself, like, how can you get a negative net worth? But a story came to me. That was just my mind frame. Like, how is that even possible? But my thing is I have this story about just a quick little tidbit. I remember a guy came to me and I was asking him what his net worth was because he was looking for some financing, and he gave me a document with all of his assets, and a bunch of his assets were things like couches, his chairs. I mean, when you stretch it that far out to get to a number, you using couches, chairs, your daughter's play set.
I got my son's big wheel. Does my son big wheel count too?
I want to put all the assets on this paper. This is how much I'm worth,
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Okay, I see the chat's getting wild. Some people may be new and they may not know what I'm saying.
Okay.
But someone said, shaming poor kids. You can't shame a poor kid. It's not the kids that deserve to be shamed. Now remember, but here's the point. Let's be clear. That child who is from a low-income family, they are shaming other kids who don't have Jordans on their feet. So let's be clear. Let's not talk about the poor kid. That same child who's getting free lunch, but they got Jordans on their feet, that child is talking about other kids who don't have Jordans. So let's not act like these kids are super innocent. But when I'm talking about shaming certain activity, it's not the kids, it's the parents, the adults, the people who are allowing this to happen. That kid does not have Jordans on their feet by their own actions, unless like back in the day, back in the day, like long time ago, early 90s, where people were stealing Jordans, that's kids were doing this. But I'm talking about parents who are overindulging and buying Jordans and buying luxury clothing for their children when they are in poverty. Those are, the parents are the people who need to be shamed for that. Not meaning that the kids need to be in rags. The kid needs to have clean clothes. Their clothes should be clean. It should be decent clothing that actually fit them. As long as it's clean and it fits you, it should be fine. But you are creating a bad relationship in this kid's mind with luxury items and their self-worth. And that carries on into adulthood, because that's why we see guys with negative net worth have $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 cars, but they have a negative net worth and they live paycheck to paycheck. Those kids grow up. Those little kids grow up to be grown adults who are functionally broke, but they look like $1 million. That's
of course.
That's what.
Of course.
All right, back to the phone lines. Callers from the 479-313 and 360 in that order. So here we go. Caller from 479. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, JT? This is Sal. Glad to see you keep growing your channel.
Thank you. I appreciate
Definitely a need. Definitely a need.
All right. So what do you think about this topic, man? Am I off? What's going on?
Well, I agree with everything that you're saying, but I have so many family members that are on that other side of the fence that live this life, that life. So I will try to articulate it the best I can.
Sure.
And it's just crazy, the mindset. But they want their kids to have something they did not. So they try to get what they think is valuable to have, because status is more important than having assets in the bank. And they'd rather have that. That's the best way I can describe it.
No, listen, I'm with you. So what we're seeing, they're living vicariously through the child. They grew up in poverty and they didn't get the Jordans. They are now adults in poverty, but they want to give their kids the Jordans. What they're unaware of is that they are not actually helping the child. That child is going to grow up and then become addicted to luxury items to make themselves feel better. Here's an example. There are people who are attempting to get in better shape, but there's a spiral of bad eating habits. It's like if you are a comfort food eater, meaning whenever your mood is down, you had a bad day, something bad with a relationship, something bad at work, whatever it is, you go to a particular food, or maybe not that particular, you just go to food in general. Because the thing is, no matter how bad of a day you had, ice cream still tastes good. Right? It's like you can have the shittiest of a day. Ice cream still tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go to the ice cream. But think of the spiral that makes for a person who's obese and they're trying to get in better shape. They go work out. They're not used to working out, and they're not used to what it takes in the consistency it takes to actually lose weight. So they work out. They don't get the gains that they're looking for immediately, right? Oh, it's like it takes some time to really get some gains, right?
Yeah.
They expect to lose the 50 pounds that they're trying to lose. They think if they just really bust their butt for 2 or 3 weeks, they'll get there. And that's not what happens. You'll probably get those newbie gains, right? Where if you had never worked out before and you're overweight, you're going to lose a lot of weight at first. But then you're going to plateau. What ends up happening is this cycle of, yeah, you lost a little bit of weight, but you plateau. You're working out and you're working out and you're working out, but your weight's not really dropping. So what do? You go back to what you know to be comfort, and that's eating. Well, then now you're hustling backwards because the eating is just making your weight go up. And then when you realize your weight's going up and you want to make yourself feel better, you eat again. And your weight just goes. And it's just that's what happens in this scenario too. You have people, and trust me, I've worked with many clients. It doesn't matter if they make $1 million a year or my pro bono clients who have negative net worths. If they have an unhealthy relationship with spending, the same way as the example that I just gave with a person who has an unhealthy relationship with food, it becomes an endless cycle. You have a person who's unhappy with their financial situation. But when I buy a new pair of shoes, it makes me feel better. Or if I buy this or buy that, it makes me feel better. So they buy it. And they do feel better for maybe a day. But buying those shoes actually puts you in a worse financial situation than you were before you bought the shoes. So what do you do now? You buy a bag.
Yeah. Hey, look. Yeah, it's crazy. Look, I see the effects of it with the young guys that work for me in my moving company. They get their checks, come back in a week. They're out of money, and I see when they come pick up their checks, new Jordans, new Gucci belt, new everything. It's like they're in a perpetual cycle.
Yep.
And I try to help them out as best I can. But when they ask me the same thing, how can I get like you? How can I get to own my own business and do all this? I say, look, I was working in the corporate world for like 20 years before I started doing all of this.
Right.
And there's a lot of steps to go. And you could see kind of the disappointment.
Yeah.
And the overwhelming sense that now it's like, I'm going to have to do this for how long to get to that point? And I had a gentleman that used to work for me that did the whole scamming. And I got a letter in the mail saying that they had to take out like $800 out of his check every 2 weeks for restitution payments. And it's like, if there's any guys out there that have ever done this or have even thought about doing this, I can tell you right now, when you take money from other people in those schemes, scams, credit card things or anything, they're gonna make sure that you do not have financial success ever. They'll put you just enough to eat.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And it's crazy. And then that mindset travels over to, the just recklessly creating kids and everything. And now all of
generational.
A sudden, here I am, I'm your employer, and
Yep.
I constantly getting something in the mail saying I gotta take this out, I gotta take that out. And you're further and further going backwards.
Yep.
So
that makes a person not want to work anymore.
Stop, unfortunately, as I see with my cousins and my aunts, I'm the only one that kind of made it out to financial freedom, and it hurts my heart because I want to help, but that's only going to make it worse.
Yeah,
and
you can't enable, right? Yeah,
cycle.
You want to help, but you can't enable them to dig themselves even deeper into a ditch of debt. You can't give them the opportunity just to feed into their bad spending habits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's heartbreaking, and I hope that's the one thing I wish I could help. I hire primarily minorities. It's what does a lot of this labor work, and I pay well enough. And this is the one thing I've learned is that the more I pay, because I used to pay them starting like $48,000, and all I did was exacerbate the problems that they already had. And they just spent it, gambled it, drank it away. No matter how much money I spent, I put into their salaries, and I wish it wasn't like that. I did my best. I even had my financial advisor, and I have a high net worth that I could stop everything and live for several generations if I wanted to. And I still have a financial advisor, and I even brought him. I paid for him to come over and help these guys, and it did not help. So God bless anyone who's trying to help them. I don't know what it's going to take for the Black community to stop doing this, for the poor communities to stop doing this, because it's just an endless cycle. And then at the end of the day, some of them are still getting scammed because some of them are fake.
Hey man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. That was a good call. Thank you.
It was.
And good luck. Good job with you, Orlando, too. I didn't forget
Thank you.
I hope your channel grows and grows, too.
Hey, man, we appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, the tough thing about that is, JT, is that we know this about when you're trying to, when you want to help, you want to actually, get in there and help. But just like you've seen in videos where someone jumps in to help someone, the person knows how to swim and the other person's drowning, and they jump in there to help the person swim. I mean, to save them from drowning. And they both drown because the other person is just panicking, pushing the other person down. And then you both just drown, right? You've seen that happen multiple times. And the same thing can be related to financing and help someone. The person truly has to want to get out of that situation themselves. You cannot hand it to them. It's just, and we both know this. We both know this. It's just, that's the way it is.
People don't believe me when I say this, but I say it all the time, and I will argue with anyone who says differently. Most people who live paycheck to paycheck, you do not have an income problem. You have a spending problem, and or you have a problem where you have, for whatever reason, brought in far too much financial responsibility in your life that you can't handle. JT, what are you talking about? If you make $28,000 a year, you shouldn't have 4 or 5 kids. You don't have the financial resources to take care of 4 or 5 kids when you make $28,000 a year. You can live, I guess, okay as a single young guy on $28,000 a year in certain areas of this country while you grind to make more, but you can't be 45 years old with 4 or 5 kids and a wife or a girlfriend making $28,000 a year. You brought that on yourself. You took on way too much financial responsibility with limited resources. You did that to yourself. And then you can't be mad at the world and say, I should have a job that can financially take care of myself. You brought on the financial responsibility. You need to make sure you qualify for that job that can take care of 4 or 5 kids and a wife.
So are you saying, JT, that if you get a job where you were making, you had a job where you were making 60,000, and then you got a promotion, you got another job, right, and got promoted, and now you're making $20,000 more, you shouldn't take that $20,000 more and go buy you a BMW, spend money on Jordans, get everybody Christmas presents, so they know that you're doing better than you used to do? Is that what you're saying?
That is exactly what I'm saying. That is the lifestyle creep that makes your raise null and void. It doesn't matter. You can make an extra $80,000 a year. If you're spending $80,000 more dollars a year, you're functionally in the same place that you were, other than you have more toys living paycheck to paycheck. You're still living paycheck to paycheck. Let's be clear.
Right.
You're still living paycheck to paycheck the same way you were living paycheck to paycheck, making $60,000 a year. But now that you're making $160,000 a year, you're still living paycheck to paycheck, but you just have nicer toys, but you're still stressed out because you have to work every single day or you're going to miss a payment and one of your toys are going to be repoed. It's ridiculous. You don't have an income problem. Most of you may find a few situations where income's the issue, maybe. But for the vast majority of people living paycheck to paycheck, you're in debt. You have a spending problem. Get control of the way that you are currently spending your money before you start making more money. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to still be on that hamster wheel, running and running and running and getting nowhere because you can't find financial discipline. Financial discipline, that's what it takes.
Listen, I could real quickly, I can promise you almost 100% of the time, almost 100% of the time, if someone comes to you and says, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I make enough money, but I just don't know what's going wrong. Like you said, most of the time, it's always an expense issue. They're spending money elsewhere. And when you look at their bank accounts and you look at all the expenses that they have, you would believe that most people are telling you, hey, all of my expenses that I'm spending, they're needs.
They're necessary. Needs. Every outflow of cash that you see in my bank statement, that's a necessity. You look through that and you see all of these all these restaurants that they're eating at. You see all of these luxury items, all of these credit card bills, and you just look at them and be like, I can't help you until you can recognize the difference between a necessity and a want.
Right.
And this is tie it all back in. Here we go. Tie it back into the subject matter of the night. You are harming your child who's in poverty. You're harming them because you are now giving them the wrong idea that those Jordans are a necessity. Because without those Jordans, how are they going to feel good about themselves? See, now it's a necessity. And that kid who thinks Jordans are a necessity is a grown man who thinks driving a BMW when they're functionally broke is also a necessity. They're faking it till they make it. But the sad fact is over 90% of people who fake it never make it. Because the faking it is what keeps them from making it.
Right.
You may find a few people who faked it till I made it, but the faking it is an outflow of cash to make yourselves look rich that's actually keeping you from building wealth. All right, back to the phone lines. Here we go. Caller from the 313 area code, then 360, then 719. So here we go. Caller from 313 area code. Make sure you're talking to me directly through the phone. Whatever device you're listening to us on, you can go ahead and turn that down. Talk to us straight through the phone. 313, what's going on? 313. I hear you.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Go right ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is an interesting topic because I grew up in poverty. I went to college, put myself through school, started a good business, and I'm doing okay for myself. Not enough to bless the whole entire family, but enough to make sure my family doesn't grow up in that situation.
Right.
But I now look at the way I grew up so different because I was just telling my girlfriend, like, man, we kept 3, 4, 5 pair of fresh shoes. We used to get new shoes for each and every single birthday. So I got a big family.
Right.
And it was it was like, you know, growing up, it was like 4 of us, right?
Mhm.
So for each birthday, we used to get a new pair of shoes. We got a new pair of shoes for Christmas, a new pair of shoes for 4th of July. So I kept like 7 or 8 nice pair of shoes. And then when I think about it, we never had a car. Like we never had a car.
Oh man.
In my, you know, like in my, so we only went to school at places that we could walk to school. And I asked when I got older, like, why do we go to these schools? Why we go to the better schools? Because I thought all my schools, like I went to the schools, I thought my schools was good until I started to going out and meet new people in better schools.
Right.
And
right.
then my grandmother and my dad explained to me that, oh, well, we basically didn't have a car, so you had to walk to school, so you went to the neighborhood schools. And then I thought about it, and, you know, and now I'm older, and a car note, let's say a decent car is like $200-300 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, we were spending that on shoes. Like we had all, I had all the latest Jordans. Like I had all of it. So I would have easily wore some cheaper Jordans or some just cheaper Nikes or
right.
whatever shoes. Really
How about just shoes in general?
If I had on the freshest Jordans, but it did matter to like my parents though. Like it's kind of like your parents are broke, but they don't want your children to look like they're broke, so they go all out on you. And now you're walking up the street looking good, so the other parents think your parents aren't broke. But the reality is all of y'all are broke because it's just a system of bad decisions. And then, you know, I grew up and now I can afford the Gucci Louis and all of this. And I bought a couple pair, and the one time I bought a pair, I was like, this doesn't make sense. And I bought one pair of shoes. I bought a pair of Balenciaga shoes with the socks.
Right.
And I'm like, man, this does not make sense, man. These are $1,000, and I had way more money. I went in there to spend probably about $5,000-6,000.
Right.
I walked out with one pair of shoes and said, I'm never doing this again because it just don't make sense. And you know, and now
return those.
Hang around wealthier people, and sometimes I feel stupid when I wear them even around them because I'm like, why am I the only person in here, probably with the lowest net worth,
right, with the flashiest stuff?
So, you know, like when you start getting around wealthier people, it doesn't make sense,
right?
Unless you're so wealthy to the point $1,000 isn't even in a discussion,
right?
But if you have to think about it and you have to decide whether you're going to get this color or that color or this jacket or that jacket, you're not wealthy enough to even wear that type of clothes.
Exactly.
So you probably shouldn't even, you know, be in the mall.
And most wealthy people don't even wear that. Not even at any wealth.
Listen, there's a couple of things. I took some notes. There's a couple of things I want to say. Great call. This is a great call. There's a couple of things I want to say. Number one, when you started out, you said that you do good and you do good enough for your immediate family, but you know, you're not doing good enough for the extended family, to help out the extended family. Let me say something to you right now, brother. It is not your responsibility to do good enough for the extended family. Don't put that burden on you. The same way that I preach about wealth is not supposed to flow up, it's not the job of the child to do so well that they now have to take care of their parents at the expense of being able to take care of their own family. It's not your job to be doing so well that you can help and make sure that your immediate family is doing well and the extended family. Even multi-millionaire athletes and entertainers go broke because of that mindset. It's not your job to do all that. Now, if you can provide opportunities, that's a little different. If you can provide an opportunity for someone, okay, I can roll with that, but it's not your job to bankroll and help other households make ends meet because you just got it like that. So take that burden off of you because it's not your responsibility. But also, I made a note where you said where the parents felt better because at least the kids looked like they were doing well. But that wasn't the reality that I saw. because no one actually thought the kids were doing well. The kid may have been Nike from head to toe, but they were in the free lunch line. They got on the bus from the bus stop of the government housing. We knew at every point, right? You can see at every real point that the kid is in poverty, other than the clothes that they had on. That's it. So once again, the parents are hustling backwards if they think they're really getting away with making the kid look as if they come from some, middle class family and they're doing well. We all know that they're not. You're getting free lunch. We know this. So I'm with you, bro. Congratulations on one, you working your way through college, grinding. You didn't fall for the same stat that I got here, that 46% of kids who grow up in poverty, anywhere between 8 to 14 years of their lives, 46% of them stay in poverty. You got out of that, but a lot of it is spending habits and making sure that you focus on having a healthy relationship with money and spending, instead of having a ridiculous cycle of trying to make yourself feel better by buying stuff, but at the same time going into debt. You broke that cycle for your immediate family, and really that's the only responsibility that you have, is to break the cycle in your immediate family so that others can learn from it. But you don't have to pick everybody up. It's silly to break your own back trying to pick up everybody. Break your own back to try to pick up everybody. No one wins. But great call. Thank you, caller from 313. Go ahead.
And JT, some people would argue with you that you're asking me to jump from a situation where I feel like I'm in poverty to not being in poverty anymore when I buy these expensive things, to being poor and then dressing poor also. So you're telling me to basically come to terms that I'm in poverty? Is that what you're saying? That's what some people would say.
Absolutely. You need to come to terms with your poverty. See, listen, I'm a simple guy. I don't consider, a lot of people say, well, JT thinks he's the smartest guy in the room all the time. No, I don't. That's wrong. That's not how I feel. I'm a simple guy, and simple things make sense to me. I'm the type of guy who says, you're not really smart unless you can take something that's complex and make it simple. Dumb people try to make things that are simple and make them sound complex. Here's my example of why I think people need to come to terms with their poverty and stop trying to present as if they're not in poverty. I've never been an alcoholic, nor have I been on drugs, but I am aware of the AA system. One of the first things you have to do is raise your hand and identify, I am X. I am this. Like, hi, my name is JT and I am an alcoholic. Hi, my name is JT and I am addicted to drugs. Because until you identify, listen, this is my issue, and address it head on, and you're always trying to, no, not really, I'm not, you're never going to defeat the monkey on your back. You have to, listen, I am not in a financial position to buy luxury clothes. You are going to see me wearing Walmart brand stuff. It's going to be clean. It's going to fit me. It's going to be made of good material, not super cheap stuff. It's going to look good on me, but I'm not paying for $125 shirts. I can't afford it. But as long as you are breaking your back to buy $125 shirts, when you know you don't even have an emergency savings fund, when you know you have like $1,000 of credit card debt, all you're doing is digging a deeper hole the same way that an alcoholic just is going to continue to drink and be like, oh man, you know, I just drink after work and on weekends and at parties. I'm not an alcoholic though, you know. I just like to drink. Whenever I get an opportunity to drink, I drink. You're always going to be in that way. So yeah, I say yes. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm an overspender. I spend money emotionally. Whenever I feel bad about something that happens to me in life, I try to make myself feel better by spending money. But I realize now that is an endless cycle, because when I spend the money to make myself feel better, it just makes me worse off financially. And then I spend money again to make myself feel better, and it just makes me worse off financially. I'm going to have to stop that and just admit I have a bad relationship with money and I need help. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Nothing wrong. I have a bad relationship with money and I need help because I'm in an endless cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Because when I look at my phone and I'm on social media, it looks like everybody is having a better life than me. And I feel like I'm left out. So I buy stuff to make myself look like what I see on social media. Well, guess what? The people on social media, they're most likely broke just like you.
What?
You're trying to impress someone who is impressing you, who is also broke. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
It is. It really
You're
is.
Trying to keep up with someone who is faking it too. Y'all just need to meet up.
The wildest thing, right?
Just look at each other like, what are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing here?
We both throwing our money away. Right, I'm trying to be the. It's like that Spider-Man meme.
Right,
you.
In the grand scheme of things, none of this matters. No, listen, on your tombstone, they're not going to talk about the car you drove. I doubt that that's, engraved in your tombstone. And JT drove a Lamborghini. Like that, no one cares. At the end of the day, when your kids think about grandma, grandpa, dad, or mom, they're not going to say, listen, the best time I ever had was watching my mom walk in the room with her Louis bag.
Oh,
that's
man.
what. Oh man, that's why
that
I love
was the
my
time.
Mom. That Louis bag is really what. No one cares.
Nobody cares, man.
No one cares. So just stop spending your money on dumb stuff, including Jordans for kids who get free lunch. All right, so going to caller from 719 then 251 then 973. So here we go. Caller from the 719 area code. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Yeah, it's me, Jake, again.
Yes, sir.
Colorado Springs. And with this topic, I'm gonna say I was this guy, but see what I take from it is when you look at the whole Jordan thing, that was at a time where fame was at a high. Fame is slowing down at this point. Would you agree or disagree?
So yeah, I'm going to try to articulate what you're saying based on what I think. So back in the day, when you're talking about when fame was at its height, we're talking about there were less avenues for people to get notoriety. Back in the day, for you to be famous, you had to probably actually have a skill. There was very limited opportunities. There weren't as many TV channels, cable channels, magazines. If you were famous, you were really famous. And to get to that level, very, very few people can. Now with social media, you can have 1 million followers on Instagram and TikTok by twerking. The bar's lower, is what you're saying. Yeah. That's what I got out of it.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
So at that point, I was working at Popeyes as a teenager, buying Jordans, and then you had to have a suit to go with it. So my check would be $700, but I done spent $500 on the shoes and the suit. You know. Now
Mm.
looking back, that was just very incorrect.
That's foolish.
You know. So by this time, like how the last caller said, he went from buying Jordan to now he's buying Balenciaga. Like that's backwards. That's hustling backwards.
Well, to be clear, the brother had the income to do it, and he regretted it because he walked in there intending to spend $5,000. He said no, he's just going to spend $1,000, and now he still regrets it because even when he goes out with his other high net worth friends, who he said most of them are even higher net worth to him, he feels weird having it on because it's more flashy than the stuff that people who are wealthier than him even have on. So it was a good example of this stuff really don't matter. It really doesn't matter.
JT, our wealth as black people is 1%. So if he's not the 1%, he can't be doing it. So you really have to be a multi-millionaire to buy Balenciaga. Like realistic.
In my mind, yeah. It's got, and one, you gotta actually like it. See, a lot of people,
that stuff is tacky, boy.
Yeah, a lot of people fall prey to peer pressure. The reason why the reason why I grew up in a certain way where peer pressure wasn't as strong, I grew up as a middle child.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're the middle child, you're not able to do the things that the older kids do because you're too young. And you can't hang out with the little kids because you're not in the Barney, right? So you're kind of there in the middle. So I spent a lot of time by myself, either in my room or going outside and doing stuff. So peer pressure to me wasn't as strong because it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm the type of person who will say, regardless of how much money you spent on something, that's ugly. Yeah, JT, though, listen, I paid $1,500. It's still ugly. It looks dumb. I don't know why you got it. You might as well have just bought a clear plastic bag and put the $1,500 in the bag. If you just want to walk around to show people how much money you got, skip the middleman and just wear the money. Because at least you can still use it for something else later. Skip the middleman.
Absolutely.
But that's me.
That's crazy.
That's me. But so you would have a $700 check and $500 of it would be out the door with the Jordans and the fit.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah. That was me.
Yeah.
I grew out of it though.
Yeah, you know? That's the question that I'm asking. What was it that had you evolve? Because I'm sure you're well aware that there's many of your contemporaries who never grew out of that. They just switched out Jordans with something else.
Well, see, now I grew out of it, and now I put more money into my health than the stuff that's on my body, you know. And that's what I should have been doing then, because I think that's what we need to do more, and we need to really focus on that more than the stuff that you wear. You know, you might go spend some money on some IV or some blood work or something, or to see if your body is functioning right and things like that. I mean, but now that's really more my focus, you know. But when you're a teenager and you got everybody else doing the same thing, your influence is.
No,
so
I got you. Good point, my brother. I appreciate you calling in, man.
And one more thing.
Go ahead.
Brad Smotherman.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it. When people be giving me jobs to do, man, it's like, hold up, man. I got a bunch of. I'm on it. His name is on the list. I'm on it. I'm gonna get to it.
I can't wait.
I'm on it.
I can't wait.
All right, my brother.
Thank you.
All right.
And some of these companies, man, they just getting brazen, man. They coming out with that plastic bag and then trying to say, you guys want this. I saw the last time there was one of these luxury companies where like making a bag look like a bag of Dorito chips or something like that, and it was like Lay's potato chips and they supposed to look like a purse or something, and people were buying them. Like, this look like you holding a bag of potato chips, right?
They don't care, man.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. Selling it for $2,000. $2,000.
All they want to do is be able to point and say, this is worth a lot of money. I paid a lot of money for this. That means I'm important. See, if I don't buy things that are expensive, that means I'm not important. And I'm craving for the world to view me as someone who's important. That's the issue. And that ties back into what I'm saying. You are conditioning a child to believe that their importance in the world is tied to the material things that they can buy. That's a problem. The material things that you can buy don't mean anything at the end of the day. It doesn't mean anything. You have to be able to be comfortable in the skin you're in. If you hit story time, here we go. Another story time. Here we go. Great example. Full of stories. All right. Another middle school story. And for those of you who know me, because I do have some people who I actually went to elementary school with who are subscribers to Pocket Watching with JT. Chat, don't try to find out who these people are, and don't try to find those secret stories about me. I'm swearing them to secrecy on this. But here's a story. So in middle school, for whatever reason, I got on this real kick of getting specialized fitted hats made.
Okay.
Hats that said JT on them.
Okay.
Now
that was popular back then. I saw that.
I went to the extreme, like a normal
with the
person,
oversized. With the oversized.
Listen, a normal person would buy a hat with their favorite team on it, right? So let's say I had a St. Louis Cardinals hat, and they would put JT or their name on the side of the hat, right? They would have the official logo on the front of the hat, but somewhere else on the hat they would personalize it.
Right.
I didn't do that.
No. Oh, you didn't do that, huh?
I had my name on the front of the hat. My name came first in the front of the hat. I had at least 6 or 7 of them, different colors.
Right.
Here's the problem. I got them in the summer. Wore them everywhere. I had a hat for every outfit because I had them on almost every color. Here's the problem. What school can you wear a hat in?
0. That's a no-no. You know that.
So I got to the point where I didn't feel like my outfit was together without the hat. But then I go to school on the bus with the hat.
Right. Yeah.
Second, I walk into the doors, hats off. Hey, JT, hat off. So I'm for like the whole day. I'm thinking like, I ain't got my hat on. Right? It's like I don't have my hat on.
Right.
It set up in my mind like I was missing something.
Right.
For the rest of my life, I never wanted to have a crutch like that. I never wanted to be in a situation where if I don't have this thing, am I really me without this thing? You see what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like, people have a downfall when it comes to luxury items and stuff like that. You don't feel complete just being you. You have to have this thing to validate you. But what happens if you're in an environment where you can't have that thing?
Right.
What I discovered was I'm still me. What I discovered was I'm still JT. Like I'm still me. I don't have the hat, but I'm still. Then I put the hats away. Needless to say, the hats didn't make the high school. But the point that I'm saying is, you gotta feel comfortable with just being you until you're comfortable with just being you. Even if there's stuff you got to work on, even if you say, hey, man, I'm a little out of shape. Okay, yeah, you can work out, but you still need to be comfortable with who you are while you are working to become better.
Right.
Tie it back into this Jordan things with kids and just an obsession of buying luxury items. I'm not saying that you perpetually will be in poverty and you can never have those items one day. But if you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm good with these $38 jeans, these $45 pair of shoes, and a $22 shirt, I'm good. I'm still me. And if I do more and I grind harder and I start to make more money, maybe I'll upgrade my wardrobe. But honestly, when you do start to make that money, you're not going to want to waste it on, on the wardrobe.
That's what I was going to say.
It's a patience thing, and it's really identity crisis. Identity crisis. Most people in America, from my point of view as a financial advisor, we have identity crisis. We really don't know who we are. Take everything from us. Take all the BS that we bring into our lives to try to make ourselves look bigger and better than what we are. We don't know who we are. And we substitute trying to really find value in who we are with stuff that we can buy. If you can buy stuff, you're important. It doesn't matter. And a lot of people are going to find this out in the next 6 to 8 months as this recession kicks off, and they realize that they can't buy the stuff that they were buying before because interest rates are ridiculous. Trying to borrow money is ridiculous. People are going to lose jobs. People's hours are going to be cut back. You're not going to be able to buy stuff. So now you're really going to have to look in that mirror and say, who am I without buying stuff? And most of you, if you look at yourself, you'll realize I'm still a good person. I'm still a good dad, a good husband, or whatever, a good student, whatever you are, you're still that person without the stuff. You just got to work on it. You just got to work on it.
Yeah. And like you said, man, I think that especially since we got this in the next 6 to 8 months, let's just even say a year, right? In between that time, we're going to really see a lot of these things are going to come true, and you're going to have to face these things. We're going to see
the recession on your timeline. We're going to see the recession on your timeline.
In real time,
boy. Who are faking and fronting, they're going to be posting less often. Because they're not going to have the ability to keep faking and fronting at the same rate that they are now and just were before.
And just look, even just now, Amazon laying off 10,000 people. We see Meta, Facebook, they're going to lay off 10, 15, 20,000 people. Like, it's going to continue on. Target just announced we're going to do the same thing.
You heard that Weekends Only, which is a furniture store in St. Louis, shutting down. Like, this stuff is happening. You need to build up an emergency savings fund. Stop buying these ridiculous, expensive clothing items and build up an emergency savings fund, because regardless of what you think, you may be in the unemployment line somewhat soon, or just simply laid off for a time. Regardless, your income is going to change. It's going to happen. You need to prepare. Now, I saw a thing where Jeff Bezos said, hey, if you plan on buying like a big screen TV or some expensive thing right now, maybe you should hold off. Maybe you should. This is Bezos.
He's telling you, boy. He's speaking the truth.
Bezos like, listen, there's something that you were trying to buy that was expensive or something like that. Maybe you should wait, because this recession is going to come and you're really going to want that money, because you'll buy that expensive TV now. The recession is going to hit. You're going to try to go and pawn that TV and get pennies on a dollar. You might as well keep the money in your pocket and keep watching that same TV that you got right now, which is functioning fine. You just want to upgrade because, once again, you want to make yourself feel more important, because right now you got the 45-inch TV and you want to feel like you're even more important to get the 75-inch TV. Stop it.
And what are all these companies? I called it. I told everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh, Orlando, remote work is here to stay." What all these companies said? They said, "Come back, come back, come on back."
We need the butts in the seat.
They said, and they send it. They send out emails. You either come back or you quit. You're gone. You come back or you're gone. I'm telling you.
People think we playing with you. All right, here we go. Caller from 973 then 256. Caller from the 973 area code. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on? Sound like they're getting this together. Yeah, go right ahead. I can hear you.
Hey, so I have a confession to make. I got a spending problem. I ain't even gonna front with you. So I did your zero budget balance thing, and I seen that I can't even account for $600 for what I spent last month. Okay, I know I went to the ATM, withdrew the money.
Right.
I don't know what I did with it. Nothing. Yeah, so it's just like getting back to the subject with the Jordans and everything. I'm from the projects and everything, and I went through the same thing. I had the expensive clothes, the Jordans and everything, Christmas time. A lot of all my friends had it. But as we got older, my mama couldn't afford all that stuff. So, and we see all, the dope boys and everything with the expensive clothes and everything. So I think that having all that expensive stuff when I was little, me and my brothers and my friends, it led to us selling drugs so we can continue to bring the money in to buy that expensive stuff. Okay? And we're teenagers. We're teenagers, getting money. So we could, get the expensive Coogee sweaters and all that other stuff. And a lot of my friends are still out there. Me, I got smart and I went to the Army. A lot of my friends are still out there. And I think it started at a young age at the home where your parents is trying to be the best parents they could be, just feeding you, spoiling the hell out of you.
Right.
And then we got used to that. And
listen,
when the well, go ahead.
No, brother, that's a whole nother video. I never even thought of this because I was never in this environment, but what you're saying makes so much sense because this is how I'm tying it down, right? I know, and I had clients who, for whatever reason, they got into an accident and they got hooked on painkillers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say they had a bad back, right? They slipped, got a bad back. They got hooked on painkillers that were prescribed from their doctor. But then their back gets better, but they're still addicted to the pain pills. The doctor cuts them off because they don't see a medical need to continue to prescribe the painkillers.
Pain pills. Right.
So what does the person do? They substitute the pain pills for drugs to keep getting that feeling. When the brother said that his parents were supplying him with the luxury clothes all the way up to a point, because then as you get older, like buying Jordans for a toddler isn't that expensive.
Oh, that's not expensive.
Right? That's a smaller size. Right? But when you get older and when you get more kids and stuff like that, the parent naturally has to cut back to a certain point. But what did the kids do? The kids didn't want to stop faking it. Right. They wanted to continue the high of having the luxury clothes. So what could they do to continue the front of having the luxury items? It drove them to a life of crime to keep up a materialistic lifestyle that was started by an ill-guided parent thinking they're making the kid feel better, thinking they're doing something good for the kid, but it actually led them to a life of crime.
Yep.
Listen, man, that's a whole nother episode.
That's another video. That's a whole nother. That's a video right there, boy.
Childhood. A lot of them are dead, but a lot of them are still out there, and it's just ridiculous.
Because a regular job for a kid can't keep you dripped. You can't stay dripped in Jordans working at like a little janitorial job or working at McDonald's, some fast food. You gotta make some type of money that can keep you dripped. And how can a kid with no life skills and no advanced training make that type of fast money?
You already know.
And this is the thing, JT. It's crazy because, I mean, I don't know how it is now, but I know back in my projects, it's like my mom, being that she worked, she was probably one of the only ones who wasn't on the Section 8 or anything like that. So our rent was like $500. And my homeboy, his mom's is on Section 8. She's paying literally like $50 a month for rent. I see how you got all your joy. Yeah. For real. Wow. I see how you got all your joys and stuff, but at the same time, you over here at my house freeloading off my video games and my snacks and my food. Because, your mama spent all, however she got her Section 8 money. Right. She paid her little $50 and just blew the rest of her stuff, while my mom's was somewhat responsible, because, like I said, she a single black mother. She was out there too with the, name brand stuff and all that. Like I said, because she had me, my brother, and my sister in it. Right. So, I mean, and then it's an endless cycle. The cycle, it seems like it never breaks. And it's just crazy. And it's just like, this is why our people never get out of this endless rat race cycle that we stuck in, because nobody wants to do things the hard way. Everybody wants the easy way out. And, it's the microwave thing. And I was one of those people, just real quick before I let you go, I was one of those people who wanted the easy way out too. I bought the courses, I've been day trading for 2 years, ain't made a damn cent.
At least you admitted it.
I'm trading options. I'm making so much money trading options. I'm day trading. The reality is, a majority of people who day trade options, whatever, they don't make money. I don't care how many people are out here selling courses telling you that you're going to make thousands of dollars a day trading. A majority of professional day traders lose money.
This is the thing, JT. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you. I mean, and everybody knows this. It's actual sense. They don't tell you. In order to make that $1,000 a day, you're gonna have to probably lose $500 the day before. You gotta lose money to make money. Spend money to make money. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? But with trading, that's how it is. But it's just an endless cycle, and we just get caught up in the BS and everything like that. But man, thanks for your channel, man. I'm getting my finances together. So I got my budget.
There you go.
Going there. I already had a savings. I already had a savings.
Good.
And everything like that. But I need to work on my investments, stuff like that. So I appreciate the channel, man. I'm still going down the JT rabbit hole because I got a lot more videos to watch. But, I appreciate it.
Listen, brother, that is why we do what we do. This is why I do this channel. Like me and Orlando, we have conversations like this offline
all the time, right?
So we figure, why not just cut on the camera and let people call in and join in on the conversation? But that's what we want to hear. We want to hear people who are able to get our content, realize, no, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be, some hard work. It's going to take consistency. Right. It's not overnight success, but you can be financially successful if you put in the work and you block out all the other BS of how much money you can make if you run this play, if you do this and do that, and you can all that other stuff. At the end of the day, it doesn't work. And even if you think it worked, it only kind of worked in the short term. In the long term, it's setting you back. My brother, 100%. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Appreciate.
Thank you, my brother. All right. We got our last call of the night. Last call of the night from the 256 area code. Here we go. Call 256. Just jump back on. All right, so we got 2 more calls of the night. Caller from 256. You're live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hey, JT.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live on the air. What's going on?
Tell Orlando I said too. Look, I got 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. The two girls didn't really want to wear Jordans, so they ain't in the picture. Well, my oldest girl got a pair of one. Well, I went to school shopping, right? They said they wanted J's.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna get y'all some J's. They went there looking at the fresh ones, the new ones, like $300. I'm like, no, we ain't looking at them. Y'all get them Christmas time when they go on sale. Come over here, look at these ones on sale for $120. They ain't like it, but that's what they had to do. I was raising 4 kids. They had to send all of them to school. They got they got the good stuff, but they had to get it on sale.
Mm-hmm. All right. So here's my question to you, right? Here's my question to you. You've got 4 kids. Apparently 3 out of the 4 took you up on your offer for the Jordans. You didn't elect to buy the brand new ones, which would have been around $300. You bought the ones that, a little older that were 120 plus. Okay. My question to you is, do you have a fully funded emergency savings fund?
No.
All right. Do you have any debt?
I got the regular debt everybody got.
What's the rate? Listen, don't put me in that group. I'm not in that group, buddy. I want to know what debt are you talking about? Because the only debt that I have is my mortgage. Everything else I paid off. So what debt are you talking about?
Well, I got a mortgage. Mm-hmm. I got 2 car notes.
Is that it? What about credit cards?
I got 1 credit card, but that ain't no problem. You get paid off every month.
Okay, you carry a 0 balance from month to month.
Not 0, but it's like $100 gas or something like that.
So you carry a balance from one month to the next, and you actually get hit up with interest.
No, it'll be like $5. I ain't worried about it.
Here's the thing. I understand you're not worried about it, but here's the thing. That stuff starts to add up, right? The 2 car notes. I don't need to know down to the penny, but the 2 car notes, how much debt do you have on those 2 car notes?
My wife got a new car, and I got like a 2013. Her car like 30,000, and the Camry only like 10.
All right.
Well, it's 2 different Camrys. It's a brand new Camry and like a 2013 Camry.
All right.
Okay.
Here's the issue. You do not have an emergency savings fund. If something was to happen and you weren't making money for 2 or 3 months, could you even pay your bills? Could you pay your mortgage and the 2 car notes if in 3 months with no new money coming in?
I get I'm on VA disability right now, so my money come in every month.
Oh, yours are. So you get those automatic payments every month. So if you don't have a savings, right? If you don't have a savings, do you have a budget? How much money do you have left over at the end of the month? Why are you in debt?
I guess I'm pretty much straight, but you know that woman ain't gonna let me keep all that money to myself. My wife tried to spend more than I got. She know what's coming in, and she tried to spend it. Well, I've been trying to crack down on it as much as I can.
All right, well, listen. What I would suggest for you to do, you need to get a budget in place where within the next 3 to 5 years, you're completely out of debt other than your mortgage. And the only way that you're going to be able to successfully do that is if you get a budget. You have to get a budget in place, and you have to be serious about paying down debt. And you can't be serious about paying down debt if you continue to buy luxury items that aren't really needed, right? Now, there's certain things, obviously, you can buy for your kids because, you don't sound like you're in poverty, right? But the question is, yes, you got the monthly payments from the VA coming in, but what do you have as far as investments? Do you have any type of investments like retirement accounts or something like that?
No, I spent my 401k when COVID came.
Oh Lord!
So you really don't have nothing to fall back on.
I lost my job when COVID hit, and everybody cashed out their 401ks. I spent.
How much was that though? You spent all that was in your 401k. How much did you have in your 401k?
It was like a little bit close to 50. Because I was because when COVID hit, I started remodeling my house, and then I built me a shop out back. But mainly I'm just remodeling. Did a bunch of remodeling to my house. Wife got a new kitchen and a new kitchen set appliance.
What was the shop out back for? What are you doing out of that?
No, that's just like a man cave. Get away from the wife.
But you don't have any money saved. The thing that I'm saying is, you have to have some savings. I understand that you have these annuity payments, you have these automatic payments that are coming in. It sounds like from disability from military service, right?
Yeah.
All right. But you still need savings for the unexpected stuff that happens, right? If something unexpected happens and you have like some weird medical bill for your kids, or something happens where you have to have $8,000 or $10,000 right now that currently you don't have from your cash flow, how are you going to get that money? The only way you're going to get it is through debt. You're going to borrow the money, and it's going to put you further into debt. I want you to be out of debt. I want you to have no debt one day. And the only way you'll be in a position where you have no debt, you have to be serious about having a budget, focusing on where the money is going, and have a debt payment plan. All right?
Okay.
All right. But I'm sure kids are enjoying those Jordans, but you got to teach them healthy spending habits. Kids learn from observation. They're watching what you and your wife are currently doing, and they are going to take on good and bad habits that they see. As parents, it's our job for them to observe as many good habits as possible. No one's perfect, but you want them to see as many good habits, especially when it comes to your relationship with money, because they most likely aren't going to be on disability from the government, right? They're not going to get military disability. Like that's not a guaranteed thing. And the way that you're spending money because you have this guaranteed monthly payments, that doesn't register to them. They don't know, oh, dad can blow money on this and that because no matter what, he's got a check coming. They just know blow money on the stuff that you want. That's what they learn. But when they get into the real world, they're going to see that's not really how it works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
I've been trying. That's what I've been trying to tell them, but they just see.
It don't matter what you tell them. It doesn't matter what you tell them. They are just looking at you. You can't say, yeah, kids do this, but they see you doing something different. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters what you do and what they see. A kid learns from observation. You can talk all day long about, listen, I'm doing this, but I want y'all to do that. They see dad with that new shop in the back, that man cave. That's all they see. Everything else is wah, 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 wah. They're going to do what they see. All right. So work on that budget, right? Work on that budget and make sure they are observing their father and their mother with good money habits. That's what they need to do. All right, here we go. Caller from the 360 area code. Caller from 360. You are live on the air with Pocket Watching with JT. What's going on?
Hello, JT. Hello, Orlando.
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on?
I don't understand the life with the free lunch. I wasn't born in the U.S. You know, my parents had to pay for my uniform, my books, my food. So I don't know about that free lunch life. You know, the parents didn't pay, you didn't have any. I have a question. I heard your previous caller about not worrying about your extended family, but you had a episode last week talking about, you know, your family member dying and not having any estate planning. Well, that happened to me. My mom died unexpectedly. And she had a home that was paid off. And my family has been living in there for over 20 years. And we thought she did something without a lawyer. And so I am now being looked upon to buy out this person. So he's supposedly agreed for me to buy him out. And so I'm looking to get a $60,000 loan. And I'm trying to see what you think about a personal loan, which is at 7.49%, versus a HELOC at 6.5%. Which one would you choose in that situation?
All right. Well, let's take a couple of steps back before we get to that point, because I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. All right. So your mother passed, and apparently there's around $60,000 worth of debt on the home?
There is no debt. She bought the house with someone who we hadn't heard from in like 15
years.
Okay.
So there's a split interest. Okay, so there's a split interest between your mother's estate and this other person.
Yes.
And the other person is saying, you can buy me out for $60,000 and the family can own the home outright.
Well, that's what he's saying. I've had multiple conversations and he refused, but I got someone to talk to him and he's willing to negotiate. Okay.
What is this person's claim? Like, I'm confused. What is that? Is this like an ex-husband? What?
It's a person she was in a relationship with.
Okay. She was in a relationship and he's on the deed, like, because it sounds like they weren't. I'm about to say he wasn't in the relationship for the past, it sounds like 15 to 20 years, because you said the family was living in there.
But his name is on it.
His name is on it.
And I've gone to multiple lawyers, and they've told me that my best option is to negotiate with him.
Is negotiated, and he's right now the number is 60,000.
Well, it's about 70, but my mom has some money in her bank account.
Okay,
so
and you're going to use that.
Put it together. Yes.
Okay. Now, it's not as if he owns 100%. He would at best own 50%, right?
I said I would buy him out at 50%.
Right.
So he wasn't willing to work with me. So I want to make sure I have all of it available if he's not willing to sell me to buy him out 30%.
Okay.
I have 50%. I'm sorry, I used the wrong percentage.
Okay. Who's living in the house now?
My mom, sister, and my cousin.
And what skin in the game do they have? Because when you buy this out, it's not like you're moving into the house, right? It sounds like they're still going to be living there.
Well, I was just going to keep it the way my mom did, which was that in lieu of rent, they would maintain the property and pay the utilities.
Okay. But they're not offering any help in this situation.
No, because cousin wants to buy a home in another area. She's saving up for that.
All right. So one of the people who are living in the house are planning their exit from the house.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And your dream or your goal is to buy out the guy who has a percentage in it so that the other people can stay in it and rent it out to them.
And live there, yes.
Okay. Honestly,
that's not moving out.
Right. They're not moving out.
No.
Because what if they came up to you and said, listen, we want to move somewhere else? Is it your goal just to keep this as run? Because this is what I'm trying to get down to. If those people who are living in the house right now, if they told you, you know what, we don't want to live here anymore, would you still jump through all these hoops to keep the house?
No, but I would like to keep it so when I go home to visit, me and my family has somewhere to stay. And I mean, my mom bought it for, like $30,000, and it's worth, $70 now. So there is value in it. It's in a desirable area.
Well, it won't be value. There won't be value in it because you're buying it for exactly what it's worth. So it's no equity in there.
Right. I mean, well, she's buying out that other percentage because it seems as if have you already gone through probate? Because you said there wasn't a will, right? Have you already gone through probate?
No, there is no probate. What happened was I got the deed. My mom left me out her paperwork. She told me what she wanted to do and on her deathbed. But when I connected with this person, he was not interested in any plans she had.
Is this happening in the U.S. or in another country? Where's the property?
It's in another country. It's in Jamaica.
Okay, the property is in Jamaica. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Someone already said, JT, the house is in Jamaica. Thank you, Star. JT, I think the house is in Jamaica.
Yeah, I was like, that don't even make sense.
It's not making sense to me. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna have to just pass this over to Orlando when it comes to the race, because personally, I'm not putting debt on my house for this situation.
Okay,
I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
That's just me. I would have a real conversation. I'm gonna tell you what I would do, knowing this isn't you, right? I'm just saying what I would do. Then I'm gonna pass it off to our real estate expert here. But in my mind, I'm having an adult conversation with the people who live in that house and say, listen, I'm having a back and forth with this guy who wants to get paid off from this house. The house is going to be encumbered anyway. It's not like he can take over the house and you each own a piece of this house. To me, I would call his bluff, right?
No, I don't own it actually. Because the way my mom has very limited education, and she had someone who took advantage of her. She didn't get her own lawyer. She trusted this person.
So he
and the way it's set up,
it's not a percentage.
He owns
it's
it,
not a
but
percentage,
he doesn't have her
JT.
death certificate.
He owns it. So on paper, he owns 100% of the house.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I thought I thought it was a situation.
That's what I was saying.
Oh boy, I'm so so off done. Yeah. So now, that's what you were saying before. There is no equity. She's going to be buying the house.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I wouldn't do it at all. I wouldn't do it at all. I'd have an adult conversation with the people in the house and say, listen, I need to work out a deal with the guy who's got the paperwork. I mean, is there any type of adverse possession? I mean, your mother was in the house for so long.
We did. I spoke to a lawyer in Jamaica, and I also spoke to one here in the U.S. I know I've been reaching out to a couple of lawyers. They basically told me it could cost me between $10,000 to $20,000 with no guarantee of success.
I rolled the dice. Because you going for $60,000. You going for $60,000. I don't know what.
I got somebody who has been speaking with him, and she's hoping she can massage him a little bit to let him be willing to sell it to me for 50%. But I know.
Can you ask her? Is this
he's gonna want to squeeze me as hard as
what do you call that? I can't think of the word, but is she emotionally tied to the property because of her mom? That's really
what
about?
Orlando's asking, is this more of an emotional tie to the home because of your mother?
In some ways, yes, but it's also that maybe I just want them to be left alone, and if within 3 to 4 years, if they don't want to be there anymore, I can sell it.
Okay.
Yeah, but isn't this the same? But this is exactly the same situation that we spoke about, that we were speaking about earlier. When you were saying it's not your responsibility. Remember we had this conversation, JT, when you were just saying it's not your responsibility to take care of other people, right? She should be focusing on, if she was going to take the house and and profit off of it or whatever she was going to do, that's one thing. But to encumber your own house.
Yeah, but I see her point though. Like obviously, you and me, Orlando, we wouldn't do it, but we got to take it from the position of the client. The client wants to do this, right? So in this position, she's possibly in a way where she can buy the house at 50% of its actual market value. Okay, that's the deal that she's trying to work.
Is it 50% or is it at
no?
How much a middle person is trying to help me.
Yeah, she's got someone working in the middle.
How much is the house worth?
Trying to negotiate. I'm guessing the house is worth around $100,000, right?
Around there,
yeah. The house is worth about $100,000. This guy is only there on paper, right? He hasn't been associated with the house.
Payment,
made no payments or anything for the thing. He's only on it on paper. So she's trying to get him to relinquish his rights to the house, which is really just paperwork,
right?
For $50,000. She would own the house outright, which is worth $100,000. She'll let the people who are in there right now continue to rent. And if they decide to leave, it'll be a home that she can stay in when she goes to Jamaica, or she'll just sell it and make the flip. She'll automatically have the $50,000 worth of equity.
Right.
All right. So she's got an option between getting a 7.49 personal loan or a 6.9 HELOC.
Okay. So I'm just gonna assume. What did she say?
I'm sorry. What was the HELOC percentage?
6.5.
6.5.
Okay, so I'm just
for the assessment and
so this it's all about preference. It's all about what she wants to do. I mean, when it comes to repayment, the repayment on a personal loan is going to be, the payments are going to be higher because it's probably going to spread out for 4 years or something like that. Meaning the whole loan has to be paid back in 4 years at that 7% interest rate. Versus if she does a HELOC, it's going to be spread normally 10 years, and then it probably balloons at that 10 to 12 years, depending on whatever her terms are. But I'm just using averages, right?
Right.
But here's the thing: the personal loan probably will be a fixed, but the HELOC won't be fixed. It'll have an adjustable rate that probably starts. It adjusts quarterly, right? So you have to look at it, and rates are continuing to go up. But it's always going to be, but it's definitely going to be cheaper to do the HELOC regardless, because her payments are just going to be so hefty with a personal loan, So I don't know her financial situation, so it's really hard to say. I can just tell her which one is going to cost more. I mean, which one is going to be monthly cost her more, and that's the personal loan. I'd never really suggest anybody to get a personal loan. I really don't, but based on this situation, which has a lot of hair on it,
right?
The HELOC is, and the other problem with this too. The other problem with this too is if she does a HELOC, you're putting your house at risk too. Versus
that's the thing. I don't want her to put.
You see what I'm saying?
Her home at risk. I don't do that. It's like it's too much. I mean, at this
what if you get into this and then this guy You know, he's already, you know, made some moves with contracts and stuff like
concern.
that. What if he locks her
I
into
don't have a
something where
mortgage
she's
or anything on my own.
oh, she
Listen,
doesn't have a mortgage.
Yeah, but
but that's still but you're still putting your house up.
You're still putting your house at risk with the HELOC because you're putting debt on your home through the HELOC.
Right.
Sure.
In my mind, okay. In my mind, this is a rental property. Let's go at this at an investment property point. Right?
Okay.
I would say I'm working to try to get an investment property. I'd go to the point I'm starting up an LLC and trying to create an investment property and try to find someone who will help me finance this investment property by putting 20% down on the purchase of this $50,000. Right? I mean, we're still basing off the fact that she can get this guy to agree to sell her the house for $50,000. Why not go at it as an investment property? Any bank would look at that and say, how much is the house worth? $100,000. How much is he selling it for you for? $50,000. And I've got 20% down.
The issue is the house is not here. Right?
Well, but you're from Jamaica, right?
That is correct, but I haven't lived there for a long time. I left as a young girl.
At this point, I would be seeking out funding from banks or lenders in Jamaica who are closer to the situation. Regardless of the country, any banker will look and say, how much is it worth? It's worth $100,000. How much are you buying it for? I'm buying it for $50,000. How much do you have for a down payment? I've got 20% down payment on it. It still seems like a good deal.
To trying to get a mortgage down there.
I would look and see, I would go through the process and see trying to get a mortgage down there as an investment property.
Yeah, because mortgages here, there's no lending towards Jamaica here.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I would go down.
Right.
Yeah, I would go and check and see, what do you need to do to qualify for an investment property mortgage down there in Jamaica for this property that seems as if it would look attractive for a lender in Jamaica to finance. Because they're like, worst case scenario, she forecloses on it, and we've got 50% equity in it.
Okay.
Even more with the down payment. They'd be looking at more like 60 or 70% equity in it. So that's the route that I would go. I would never risk my home. And the personal loan is going to cost you too much.
Okay.
Okay? That's the route that I would go.
Okay.
All right?
All right. You're like my husband. My husband said the same thing. He's like, well, wait him out. Roll the dice.
Right. I mean, honestly, he can't. You got possession. Your mother was the one that was making the mortgage payment. He's got paper. You could probably beat him out. I mean, shoot. I mean, if he was in a relationship with your mother, how old is he?
He's in his 60s. My husband said to wait him out. He's going to drop dead soon.
I'm leaning on your husband's side. Honestly. He didn't do anything for all these years. I'm leaning on your husband's side.
No.
But if I had to pick a choice, I would look to see if I can get an investment property mortgage in Jamaica for the property and just get him to agree to 50% or 60% of the property. That would still be attractive to a bank in Jamaica. To me.
Okay, I never thought about that.
Right.
I never thought about that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, man. That's
Good night.
No problem. What I was saying, man, is that's a hard one because there's so much hair on that story, right?
Yeah.
When someone's asking you which side is better, which one is this, and I heard what you were saying. And fundamentally, I just disagree with the way that it's being done. And I get it; it's her choice to make that decision because that's her property and her family. I get that, but fundamentally, I'm just like, I just think that there's a better way to kind of handle that
to get it done. Yes, and that's exactly
to get it done.
That's exactly how we look at it. Because at the end of the day, as advisors, right? As a CFP, I've got to put all the options on the table for the client. I give my recommendation, but they're still the boss of the situation and say, I'm going to pick that, right? So I gotta still put all the options on the table, and I tell them this is what I would do, and this is why I think you should do this. But they still, it's still their life. They still pick what they want to do. But yeah, I would say, I would turn that into an investment property and go at it that angle. And
then if you can't, and then also too, I mean, I just would not risk my home in the U.S. I just would not.
No, never. She said
in that scenario,
nope,
it's paid off. Nope. Like you could go, and this is not to scare or anything like that, but you can go into a situation like that where you take the money thinking that you're gonna go ahead and go through this purchase in Jamaica, and hence what she said, I haven't lived in Jamaica for XYZ time, and you lose that money in some way. You just lose it. It doesn't work out. The guy
flakes out, and
flakes out.
Somebody else comes up with a deal and say, "Hey, I'll buy it for 80.
Yeah,
I'll buy it for 80," and then now it's fair.
And what I'm saying is that now you have this lien on your house, and that you've worked so hard to not have a mortgage anymore, and now you got this huge amount of debt that's on your home, and now you got to work your way out of that.
I never do that. Once you get debt free, you don't run back to the plantation. Once you get debt free, you want to stay debt free, period, regardless to whom or what. You're gonna do what you got to do. And I understand the emotional tie that she has to the home, because remember, she talked about how her mother told her on her deathbed what she wanted to get done.
Oh yeah.
And this guy is stopping that from happening. But it would have been nice if all the business was done right with your mother too. Right?
Remember, we talked about that last time.
And it would be nice. I'm sure your mother wouldn't want you to be financially harmed to try to keep her plan going, where regardless to what happened, the ball was dropped and there was some guy that came in and got the house out from underneath her on paperwork. Now remember, not too long ago we was talking about Takeoff.
Right.
And this is when he first passed, and I was just saying, listen, if he didn't have a will, this is what would happen. There's reports right now that says the Takeoff didn't have a will.
Oh boy, oh boy.
People in the chat like, JT, there's no way Takeoff. I didn't say he didn't have a will because no one knew at the time. I was trying to make the point that a lot of younger people, and he was like 28 years old, you don't believe you're going to need a will yet. Because people think will, that's for old folks. Right? That's for old people. I don't need a will. But he passes at 28. And the report, now listen, I haven't verified this. I get my info the same as y'all get your info, social media, and the news. And from what I'm told, he didn't have a will, and the parents are in a conflict over his assets. That's why I say, listen, I don't care how old you are, how strong you think you are, how healthy you are. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Just put it down on paper now. It doesn't take much. Like, listen, I'm not even a big fan on going online and getting something, but if that's what you want to do, do that at bare minimum. Go online, download the form for your state, because remember, probate law is based on a state. It's not a national law. Each state has its own probate law. But if you want to go online, find a will that is written to go and correspond with the laws of your state, and just write it out on that, and bare minimum, do that. If you don't want to get an attorney to do it, even though it only costs $100, probably costs less than 3 pairs of Jordans. I can almost guarantee that a will costs less than 2 or 3 pairs of Jordans. But if you just want to download a form online for like $50 for your state, do that. Save your family the headache and the time and the frustration of going through a protracted probate case which is going to eat into whatever you have left anyway, just get a will. It doesn't matter how young you are.
And that's what I'm saying. That when a state planning attorney say this all the time, you know, you go in there and they be like, why are you here? Normally, young people don't come in here. Normally, you at 60 years old before you come into here, which is backwards to me.
It's bad, right?
Because it's the word itself says estate planning. Right? Planning, right?
That's like I got a great game plan in the fourth quarter. You should have had a good game plan the week before the game.
Right. And so it's super important, like you said, even if someone goes online and they, you know, fill out that's better than having nothing.
Better than having nothing. Yeah.
Better than having
nothing. All right, people. There you have it. Pocket Watching with JT Wednesday night live stream edition. Y'all go check out Orlando Miner's channel. Orlando Miner is my personal real estate expert. He's the guy that I go to when I have questions about real estate. So you too should go to Orlando if you have questions about real estate. I will be back Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You kids have a great night. Try not to spend all your money on stupid things like Jordans and the shoes with the socks and all this silly stuff that make you feel like you're more important than what you really are. Just remember, if you don't feel important when the stuff is in the closet, that's a problem. Find self-worth in you, in your own skin. All the other stuff should simply kind of add, but when you take it off and it literally subtracts from who you think you are, oh man, your value system is messed up. But it's not your fault 100%. We have a culture that promotes that. So just get outside. Step outside that part of the culture. Be like me in Orlando who say that side of the culture is dumb. And we actually make fun of that side of the culture.
Yes.
Join us on this side of the culture who laugh at people who have negative net worths, but they have luxury items. It's fun over here. It's fun over here,
man. Fun over here.
Hang out over here. All right, we out of here. Y'all guys have a great night. The Pocket Watcher will be back Friday night. See y'all later.
See you.